Alright, potato farmers, this is the great potato harvest of 2026. Today is May 31st, and I'm going to be pulling the spuds because I started pulling some test ones and they look good. Some of these plants are still green and they could probably grow for a little bit longer, but I noticed with my potatoes last year I let them go a little too long and they started getting bug damage, and I've started noticing just a tiny bit of bug damage on some of the ones that I've been pulling over the last couple days. So what I did is I cut all the plants on this first row, and then I pulled the weed cloth off. I'm going to cut all the plants on this row, and then I'm pull the weed cloth off of that, and then I'm going to dig these rows out. So I'll put a quick time lapse on, and we'll get to it. So I'm just grabbing them, cutting them with like 6 inches from the top. Alright, there's my pile of weed paper, and here are my uncovered mounds of potatoes. I cut off the tops so it's easy to get the weed paper off. And now I'm going to go through and Easter egg hunt time, my favorite part of the year, and start pulling out spuds. I'll take you along for a couple of them, and then I'll time lapse the rest. Also, here's my pinto beans. I'm going to finish lining that one with pinto beans, and I think I'm going to do this entire row with pinto beans, and then I might do sunflowers. Or red beans and black beans. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, this plant in particular looks super promising. You can see it has 5 stalks coming out of it. So this is the one I'm going to film, and hopefully we hit the mother lode. So I showed this last year, but I like to kind of loosen her up. You can already see a couple spuds popping out right there. Once I see a couple of them, yep, there's another one. Then I'm going to grab the stalk and pull up. Oh yeah, that is the mother lode. Okay, I'll line up the potatoes. Let's see, right here. 1, this is just attached to the plant. 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's some mini ones. 6, 7, 8, 9. And you can see there's a bunch of little baby potatoes in there. They're great for baking. Okay. Little tiny ones. Alright, there should be a bunch more in here. Maybe not a bunch, but at least a couple. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so at the very bottom of the hole, I'm not going to totally grab it, but you can probably see right there. Ugh, nasty. That is what's left of the seed potato. It's just a gooey hunk. So that one seed potato made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decent sized spuds, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 little bakers. Alright, I'll move those over here. And I'll pull this one on camera too. All right, that one wasn't too great. It's like 3 or 4. See if I can go find another big one. Oh, there's a big one. So the ones that have the most stems on them, they're the craziest. All right, pretty good. I'll set up my camera and do the rest on time lapse. One interesting thing I noticed is there's a bunch of mushrooms growing in here. They were growing underneath the weed paper, specifically up near these pine trees. Here's a couple more. Just thought it was interesting. I wonder if that means my garden's healthy. Okay, here is the haul from potato season 2026. Today is May 31st. I looked at my video from when I planted them. I planted them on March 22nd. Overall, decent pull. I think on average each plant had maybe a little bit less potatoes on it than last year, or I'm just getting, my expectations are getting higher the more that I go. I think average size, though, I got bigger potatoes. Some of these are absolutely huge for Yukon Golds. Like, I don't know if you go to the store and get Yukon Golds, they're usually probably more like this size, the size of my fingers. But I got some massive ones. These are like softball size. Maybe not softball, but big baseball. And I got probably 5 or 6 of those. Like, here's another one. Giant. So I'm very satisfied. It's getting late. It's been raining. I could have probably waited another week or two to pull them, but last year I think I waited too long and I had a lot of bug damage. Like, bugs had been eating them while they were in the ground. So I'll get them in a bucket and I'll get them cleaned up, and then I'll weigh them, and then I'll show you like how I'm gonna rack them and dry and cure them and get them ready for storage. But yeah, 2026 potato Yukon Gold harvest went well, and it was crazy that only took 2 months, or like just over 60 days. All right, I'll get back to you in a minute. All right, here's the haul. It's almost 2 5-gallon buckets, 1.2 8 5-gallon buckets. I'm gonna rinse them with the hose and fill up these buckets with water, and then I'm gonna get a clean bucket and transfer them over. I can already see some bug damage, which sucks. Okay, so I got all the potatoes, most of them cleaned up and curing on this rack. Top shelf is all the big boys, and then medium boys, little boys. This rack here is potatoes that had a little bit of damage, or bug damage or some sort of mold, and I cut out the bad spots. These will be the ones that I use first, and then the ones that are really bad I'm working on over here. This is all the ones that have like a decent amount of damage that I don't think they'll cure. So you can see that's kind of like some sort of bug damage or rot or blight. Comes off really easily with a knife, paring knife, and a potato thing. And then basically I'm taking all them out and putting them in water for now, and I think tomorrow I'm going to boil them all, and then either can them or freeze them. And then tonight I made a batch of potato soup. It's got like Spam and corn and onions, and I might just make a ton of this and freeze it all in freezer bags. But yep, that's pretty much it. Sorry, my kitchen's a total mess. It's been crazy today and yesterday getting all the potatoes and stuff set up. But that's Potato Harvest 2026. Thanks for watching. See ya.